Breaking now, a gun battle between Escambia County Sheriff deputies and a wanted man prompting an hours-long search in a wooded area off Pensacola. At least 75 officers from different agencies working together on this one. Fox News reporter Marella Porter now with the story.
Armed and dangerous, Tyler Edwards Brooks disappearing into the woods after Escambia County deputies say he shot at them while they were serving a warrant. Deputies say Brooks had a long gun pointed at a family member when they showed up. They say he started firing at them when he saw them. At least 4 deputies were involved in the gunfight with Brooks, who ran into a wooded area near Softly Pines Road and Matthews Junction. Dozens of officers with several agencies searching the area for a few hours with the help of canines and drones.
He had gotten all the way out to the Perdido River.
A canine tracking him down in the woods.
He always seems to get his man. So I think that Shorty may well have saved the life of Mr. Taylor because he did have some gunshot wounds. We were able to get to him pretty quickly.
Escambia County Sheriff David Morgan says Brooks was shot at least 3 times during the gun battle. He was taken to the hospital.
And that was our Marella Porter reporting. According to online court documents, Brooks threatened to kill his mother in April, resisted arrest, and struck a deputy. He then failed to appear in court for a second time today, and deputies went looking for him. Fortunately, none of the deputies were hurt during that gun battle with Brooks. A breaking news update for you tonight. 2 17-year-olds charged with assault in connection to a drive-by shooting. DeAntoine Carter and Carl Norwood, both in Metro, accused of shooting the victim on Monday on Farnell Drive. Now, the victim says he was walking home from the store when someone pulled up next to him, the passenger spraying him with bullets. The victim rushed to the hospital but is expected to recover.
We've never experienced a Category 4.
Wow. Homes and businesses demolished across Lake Charles, Louisiana, the town mostly without power and water after several treatment plants sustained heavy damage from that hurricane. And they're not alone. Hundreds of thousands remain without electricity across Louisiana, and Texas, and Arkansas tonight. This storm responsible for at least 13 deaths, with days before the full extent of the destruction is really known. More than 500,000 people, we're learning, asked to evacuate as Laura stormed the western Gulf Coast, and now some are making their way back as the recovery process begins. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Siri now in Louisiana with more.
Intermittent rain showers add insult to injury as residents along the Texas and Louisiana coasts return to inspect damaged homes and businesses, including this hair salon in hard-hit Orange, Texas.
It keeps obviously raining through the ceiling because we have no ceiling and roof, so we'll just have to wait for an adjuster to see the damage.
With search and rescue operations nearing completion, first responders focus today on identifying needs and assessing damage in affected areas. In hurricane-battered Lake Charles, Louisiana, it's hard to know where to even begin.
It looks like a tornado has come through or a bomb has gone off. I didn't even know this was our street. Bill Lowry's neighbor, Ann Holcomb, rode out the Cat 4 storm in her home.
It was like standing at the front door and holding the nose of the 747 airplane. And the water was rushing down Lake Street just like a fast-moving river.
Heavy winds blew a riverboat casino into this Interstate 10 bridge. The storm was so powerful it blew a train off its tracks. Lake Charles Memorial Hospital, which suffered only minor damage in the storm, is transferring inpatients to outside facilities because of damage to the city's water system. And in neighboring Westlake, hazmat teams had to extinguish a second chemical fire at this industrial plant.
I just want to make sure that everybody's okay.
Workers and residents returned to Holly Beach in Cameron Parish, which sustained a double blow from heavy winds and storm surge as Hurricane Laura made landfall.
It should not look like a war zone.
Although the storm made its mark on the Gulf Coast, it continues to cause problems on its northeastward path, downing trees and damaging buildings in northern Mississippi and Arkansas. Texas authorities say 3 people died and 21 were taken to the hospital after inhaling carbon monoxide fumes from a generator they were using indoors. Louisiana authorities confirm 10 storm-related fatalities, half of them involving carbon monoxide. In Lake Charles, Louisiana, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
And just looking at that damage, meteorologist Jennifer Lambers joining me in the studio now. Jen, as Laura is pushing further inland, now a tropical depression, we're not even at the peak of the hurricane season yet. What else is in store?
Yeah, exactly. We're still quickly approaching that peak. This is the first major hurricane of the 2020 season, and there's a lot more forecasted. So we need to be keeping an eye on this above average season that is forecasted, especially as we approach that peak that is at the mid-September. But taking a look right now of what we do have currently going on, these are just Laura right now. It's a depression still currently. There is a new advisory coming out at 10 p.m. I do expect that to be remnants of a low pressure system for now, but what you can see is just a lot of this pressure right here and the sustained winds. Again, this last advisory came out at 4, so it's been a bit. It's been 5 hours since that last advisory, and right now the sustained winds were at 30 miles per hour. It is continuing just to move through the northern Mississippi and Alabama, and that was where it was bringing a lot of tornado warnings, flash flood warnings, so still affecting northern Alabama even now, moving through Tupelo and Huntsville, bringing a lot of heavy precipitation. Now with that, we're also seeing the remnants of this on our water vapor camera. You can see all that moisture that is moving into southern Alabama and Mississippi, and even moving just up towards those mid-Atlantic states where Laura is expected to go through over the Atlantic and potentially even pick up into tropical storm strength again. Colder water after that. So just something to keep an eye on. But also we do have new areas of interest in the tropics, plus also your weekend forecast of all of that and everything you need to know coming up soon. Lenny's.